Well, for Chapter 14, Employment Messages and Job Interviews, I want to tell you a few stories about what you'll find on page 413 on what is termed discussing salaries. Sometimes they refer to it as negotiating salaries. And as you'll see in these two examples, those are two totally different things. My first example is when I joined the Foreign Service. I don't know how much anyone knows about Foreign Service salaries or civil service salaries. Foreign Service salaries do not include Social Security withholding. So that's a whole different tax structure. Civil servants do include Social Security earnings. That is a major difference. But that's neither here nor there. I just want you to be aware there is a difference. And that might be discussing, but you have to know that in advance. The question is, did I? I remember when I got my doctorate, I went to my boss and said, "Do I get a salary raise now?" Did I learn something then? The second example is when I left Indiana State University in Terre Haute, Indiana, and went to Shell. The interviewing manager, who turned out to be my direct manager and then one of my key internal customers in Shell, and David is still my friend, said to me, "Skip, I'm giving you, when I give you the offer, it is the absolute best offer I can give. There's no negotiation in this. You're going to have to believe me." That was because our plant manager was one of the cheapest people you've ever met. And so when he called and he made the offer, I felt that it was genuine. Why? He really knew how to attract potential talent, such as mine was at the time. He even sent flowers to my wife with a note like, "You're going to like living in Delaware." A tactic, by the way, I learned when I hired another person trying to get him away from a refinery. In fact, I still remember finding out the salary the day I was flying to Nashville, Tennessee. Of course, all of this is a long time ago. And I called my folks, and I remember the cell phones were probably the size of a brick. And I was in the airport lobby in wherever I was at that particular time, probably a transit lounge somewhere. And I was trying to tell them my salary and trying to hide away from everyone so no one could overhear my conversation. And that's one of my pet peeves, even though this is a digression. I hate it when people are on the phone talking like they're big shots, so everybody listening to them. I'm sure you've experienced that. And finally, my last short adventure in salary, when I didn't know what university salaries were like, which are really much lower than work employee if you were in a business. I was offered the salary, and I looked, and I know I looked incredulous. And the dean at that time, and I'm still friends with him, he's left this university and gone elsewhere. He said, "Hey, Skip, you're not in Shell anymore. This is a university." Lesson learned. Well, I hope these three brief examples rattled your brains about what you might have experienced or someone you know might have experienced, and added value to this chapter.